Wow. That's
Wait. I want to go back to this.
Because I got to be the police, just so you know, break time coming up.
I just said, listen, we don't mess with no police on this show.
And I remember walking outside and just clenching my knuckles, and I could see the white in my hands, and I could feel it to this day. I could feel that fire, just that burn, that just upsetness. And I said to myself, my kids will never know this life.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is L.A. Williams, and I am pumped up, fired up, super excited. I don't never like to tell y'all who I am because I believe that you already know. But in case you don't, I am the blindfold master and one of the co-creators of the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. And across from me, I have the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman brand itself, the one and only Mr. Sean V. Bradley. What's happening,
Bro,
Sean?
how do you know I'm across from you? You can't see anything. I could be right behind you. I could be on the left or right. How do you know?
Could be, but you're not.
All right, watch this. Marco. Yeah, but, yo, folks, I'm saying right now, if you ever had to play Marco Polo in the pool, LA is definitely the guy that you need to have, like, you know, to play with, because y'all would win. But anyway, I'm looking at that. I'm right in front of you.
Let's go. Let's
All right. So, man, I got to just share with you right now. Recently, the Trump administration just announced these tariffs, and everybody's losing their mind all over the world. You know what I mean? It's a new trade war, and I keep getting blown up, LA. I don't know about you, from dealers and managers freaking out. And all over the Millionaire Car Salesman group, there's been posts, you know, are these tariffs going to affect us? What's going to happen with the OEMs? You know, what's going to happen with independent dealerships? Is it going to raise prices? You know, some people are saying that, hey, if people are worried about car prices jumping up, maybe it's going to boost people wanting to buy cars now before it hits. So is it, you know, how are we going to figure out what's happening and how we're supposed to weather it out, LA? Yeah.
Well, one of the best ways to predict the future is to create it. Right. And so I think so instead of people worrying so much about what's going to happen as if they're not a part of what's happening, why don't you just be a part of it? Right. Why don't you just step into it and kind of like ride the wave? Because here's the situation. One of the things that I tell people, it's so crazy. Like, I'll have conversations with people and they'll be like, well, it's kind of slow for me this week, or it's slow this month, but it's slow everywhere. That kind of gives them an excuse. Right. And I don't do well with excuses. Right. I don't care if it's slow everywhere else. As a matter of fact, that's going to be the reason why I'm successful, right? Because it's slow for y'all, but it ain't going to be slow for me, right? Because I'm not going to slow down. If y'all want to slow down, I'm going to speed up, right? And that's just got to be what our thought process is. Regardless of what it is that we're faced with, we got to just play the hand that we're dealt. You know what I'm saying? There are certain things that you can control, and there's certain things that you cannot control. It's called contributing factors versus determining factors. Well, LA, how do I know the difference? Well, contributing factors are always outside of you, right? That's your circle of concern. Your circle of influence is what's inside of you, right? That is the determining factors. That's the only thing that's going to determine your future. Now, the challenge is what people do sometimes, and I didn't mean to get all deep on the intro, right? But what people do is they take something they take something that's external, right? A contributing factor, they let it get in their head, and then it becomes a determining factor because you got it all in your head, you harping and dwelling on it and all that. Man, come on. Anybody got time for that? Shoot.
Well, listen, this week's guest is amazing. He is the president of a 2-rooftop dealer group that just shattered their ever record before, and they broke almost 1,000 units for 2 independent dealerships not in a major metro like New York or LA or Chicago, but in good old North Carolina. Tell them who we got for the show when we come back.
North Kakalaki, man. I'm telling you, we got the president of Jerry Hunt, the one and only Mr. Hayden Hicks. Right when we come back, man, we're going to pay these bills. We'll be right back. Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. Hey.
This episode is brought to you by Podium. Here's a question. How much would your business change if you had one more employee who worked 24/7 to turn every lead, including the ones that come in after hours, into test drives, sales, and more money for your dealership? Meet Jerry. Podium's new AI BDC. Jerry is a lead conversion powerhouse designed to respond instantly to every incoming lead to answer questions accurately, keep leads warm, and schedule test drives, all without direct human supervision. And the best part? With a seamless handoff to staff on the sales floor, customers will never know they were interacting with an AI to begin with. See how Podium's AI BDC can help you sell more cars by visiting podium.com/MCS. That's podium.com/MCS, or click on the link in the show notes below. Introducing Dealer Synergy's brand new 55,000 square foot outsourced BDC. Over 2,000 highly skilled agents are not just making and taking calls, they're transforming customer engagements. Our agents are specially trained by Dealer Synergy, a name trusted in automotive sales training for over 20 years. With access to decades of proven methods, they're equipped with the skills and confidence to handle every customer interaction. Combining Dealer Synergy's advanced training with the cost efficiency of a Belize-based team, our BDC helps you grow your business and maximize every opportunity. The native language in Belize is English, so no customer will be affected by agitating language barriers. Through Dealer Synergy's industry-leading training, these agents are primed to deliver results that boost your dealership's bottom line. Our goal: keep your showroom full, your customers engaged, and your reputation shining. Dealer Synergy's BDC is your partner in elevating customer satisfaction and bringing in a steady stream of ready-to-buy visitors. Contact Dealer Synergy to get more information to sign up today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. And as I said before, I am L.A. Williams, and we are introducing you today to Hayden Hicks. Man, he is a key player and the president of Jerry Hunt Supercenter. I mean, they are literally one of the top, I like to call them all brand dealerships in the country. So what we're going to do is we're going to, right, we call them independent. I call them all brand, right? Because it's like they can offer you any car kind of car you're looking for. Man, they can find it. I'm telling y'all, some phenomenal stuff. But man, we absolutely want to dive in. We want to find out all about Hayden, because this guy's sharp. I done hung out with him. I done trained with him. I mean, I done had all kind of, man, we done had meals. It's just been phenomenal. And on top of that, like Sean said, they're breaking records right now. And so you want to know, what is it they're doing? How in the world are they setting these brand new benchmarks? Like, what are the secrets to making this doggone thing happen? You hear Sean say, we're going to drop the secrets. All right. So, well, let me shut up and let's go on and get into it. Sean, you ready?
Let's go. Hayden, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Fantastic, Sean and LA. Number one, thank you guys so much for having me on your show. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. So thank you guys.
Well, listen, we are honored to have you here. Brother, I've been doing this for almost 3 decades. And first of all, you as a individual automotive professional, as a president, as a leader, are very different than most people that I come in contact with. And so it tracks, it correlates why the Jerry Hunt Supercenter is doing phenomenal. So let's just start with you. Can you just share with our audience a little bit about your automotive journey? Like, who are you? How long you been in the business? How the heck you get into the business? And how'd you get so good, man?
Oh, great questions. And thank you for that. That's an honor. Thank you for sharing that and speaking that about me. Well, I guess I could take you all the way back, Sean, LA. I like to say that I grew up in the car business. I tell people I have 5W30 for blood. It's Mobil 1 synthetic, if you were wondering. I've been in the car business my whole life. And I had the opportunity of growing up at a dealership. My parents owned a little rock lot growing up, and started in detail like anybody would say, and had the opportunity to drive cars back and forth to the auction and see my parents interact with our guests and pick up the lingo. And I fell in love with automotive, the cars themselves. Every time I get in a car, I'm just curious. I want to push all the buttons and open all the doors and just learn about it. So that curiosity stayed with me. I graduated from high school and went to work at a sunglass hut while I was in college. I went to UNCG. I was like, man, this just ain't it. I had a great place. I worked in the mall in the air conditioning and had good scenery. And back then, the mall was the place to be. So it was pretty awesome. But I made $600 every 2 weeks after taxes. And I was like, if I could take care of my family on this. So as soon as I graduated, I jumped straight back into the car business, and the rest is history. Here I am today.
What positions did you hold in the dealership? Sales?
Actually, no, I never was a salesperson, which is
wow. I would have never guessed that. That's crazy. Okay.
I did sell cars. I guess all of us internally, I am a salesperson. I would say that's ultimately what I am. But I started as a sales manager and kind of, I guess, evolved from there to sales manager to back in finance, from finance to finance director, from director to desk manager to general manager, and now the group president. And that's kind of been my journey here at Jerry Hunt Supercenter. I've been here since for 12 years now, which has been a great part of my journey. I like to share folks this. I had my high school diploma basically in the car business when I worked for my parents and a little bit for myself. And then I went to work for a dealership before this, and I got my 4-year degree in the car business. But when I came to Jerry Hunt Supercenter, I got my PhD in the car business, and it's been good to me ever since.
So what would you say, and this is a very important question, okay, and it's a follow-up one after this, what would you say that your supreme expertise is? Because I just heard you say you were a sales manager, desk manager, GSM, GM, you did finance, now you're the group president. What would you say currently your supreme superpower is as it relates to automotive management? Would it be sales management, desking, internet, BDC, running a team? Is it F&I? Is it operations? Like, what would you say your sincere expertise is?
Well, I used to say, Sean, that I still am the self-proclaimed best desk manager that's ever walked this earth. I will take anybody anywhere on a credit application to approval process with as least amount of inquiries as possible. That's number one. But with that said, I think my latest and greatest superpower is the ability to look and find opportunity. I feel like I spend a lot of my day just looking for areas and opportunity in the business and how can we maximize it. And I think it starts from a level, and LA had this conversation about serving one another. And I think when you lead with that mentality, like I want to take care of people at the end of the day, and he gave us that's our rent paid to be here. And I think that's just such a great way to start your perspective in life. And I think about serving individuals and then just go from there. How would I want to be treated? How can we make sure they have the best experience possible? They gave us an opportunity to earn their business. And I think it starts with gratitude. Hey, listen, thank you for giving me the opportunity to earn your business, Mr. Customer. There's a lot of places you could have went to and you chose to come here. And I want to make sure I reward them for that decision they made to come and do business with us.
Let's stay with this for a minute, but then LA, just in case my ADD kicks in, I want to go back to this self-proclaimed, desk manager of the, millennia, because I want to unpack that too. But let's play this out. First of all, where does that come from? Because we hear there's a negative stigma when you're at an independent dealership. It's like the bastard child. Franchise dealerships usually get the respect. They get the resources. Oh, you're a Ford dealer or a Toyota dealer. And usually when you have OEM oversight and you have a franchise, especially from large dealer groups, like whether they're Mile One or AutoNation or whatever it might be, they might have those type of philosophies. It's I think not rare, but it's not the average or normal that an independent operator, independent dealership has that servant leadership mentality and that gratitude. So can you share, where did you come up with that philosophy and how did you perpetuate that culture within, 2 used car dealerships in North Carolina?
That's a great question. Well,
I'm pretty good at this, right?
Yeah, you are. You've got some good questions. And I'm going to share a quick story, and I promise I won't take a lot of time here. But when I was growing up, it was a wild ride. Some months were really good, and some months were really bad. My parents owned a car dealership, like I said, and on payroll on Friday, it could be tough. I went to school, and I didn't have the luxury of being a car rider. I was a bus rider because my parents were at work, and that's okay. I enjoyed the bus, got a lot of good scenery and culture on the bus. And I will never forget this day. I'd gotten a Sega Genesis. That's going to date me, but a Sega Genesis. And I got NBA Jam for Christmas. And I was so excited. If you remember NBA Jam, he's on fire. But anyway, I was at school and I was thinking about it all day long. When I get home, I'm going to crush my brother. I'm going to slam dunk on him. So I'm riding the bus and I'm sitting there thinking, when I get home, I'm going to lay it down. But when I came home, I walked in the door. And my brother and I had this thing, when we come home, sometimes we didn't know what would happen. Would the power be cut off? Would the water be cut off? Was payroll on Friday? We didn't know. I walk in the door and the power was cut off. And I'd been thinking about NBA Jam all day and I was just crushed. And I remember walking outside and just clenching my knuckles and I could see the white in my hands and I could feel it to this day. I could feel that fire, just that burn, that just upsetness. And I said to myself, my kids will never know this life. And so I fast forward today And I think about my family and the people I work with and all the families we support. We have 260 employees here, and all the spouses and all the places we buy parts from and all the places we buy paint from and their families. And I thought to myself, my family, the people I love, the people I care about will never know that life that I had ever. So I will do whatever it takes to make sure that doesn't happen. Well, fast forward to your question. You're like, what does that have to do with this? I understand as an independent car dealership that we already starting from behind in a customer's perspective. They're thinking that, hey, I already know what I'm going to get. I already know the expectation, and I'm out to challenge and change that stigma about the used car business. I want to prove to them that the independent car dealer can do it right and will treat you with the respect that you deserve. And you're spending your hard-earned money. Remember, I said I made $600 every 2 weeks at Sunglass Hut. That's a lot of money. And the national car payment average is $545 right now. That means that I would have to work for 2 weeks just to pay for a car. Every 2 weeks for the next 5 years to pay for that car. So when our guests come in here to spend their money, it's just in my bones to take care of them and make sure that they get that great experience. Because let's face it, this could be most expensive thing they purchase in their life. And in the state of North Carolina, 56% of people are not homeowners, which means this will be their biggest purchase. So I want to make sure we make it an experience, make it a celebration, and give them a great quality vehicle.
You know what? Your mindset is so powerful. Dr. Covey from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People he's got this philosophy called see, do, get. Right. And it basically talks about paradigms. What he says, and it's so powerful, that the way somebody perceives something, the way that they view a situation or a reality, or in this case, a mission, vision, statement, it affects what they do. It affects their behaviors, and their behaviors will definitely correlate to their results. So for example, because you have that mentality, because you've ingrained, perpetuated that mentality in your team, what you guys do is different what other dealers do. Some dealers, work on the mindset of scarcity, mine, and they're going to just do what they can to churn and burn, prospects. They're going to just throw marketing at it, and whatever happens. And I got to tell you, it makes all the sense in the world mathematically. That my mind is a little bit different, the way that I see things, the way I think. If I'm going to play the averages, do I want to just live off of internet ups, or do I want to build a strong customer base? NADA says the highest closing ratio ever is a prior customer. It's 65%. NADA says that a service customer is 7 times as likely to purchase a vehicle from where they service a car. It also says that somebody that's purchased and serviced the vehicle at the same organization could have up to an 80% closing ratio. So it makes all the sense in the world. I just had, that I work with Toyota manufacturers. So literally 1 week ago on a regional event with hundreds of Toyota stores with the Chicago region, I asked this question. I'm sorry, the Portland region. What is the cost of a lost opportunity? The manufacturers say that if you lose a client, they estimate it to be in over $300,000. They talk about the lifetime of revenue that could generate it in sales, service, parts, F&I, aftermarket, body shop, whatever it might be. One client is worth $300,000. So I love the fact of what you're saying, because it makes all the sense in the world. You have to love your people. Now, Karen, my wife, the CEO of Dealer Synergy, loves to talk about the emotional bank account. LA is huge in emotional intelligence. He was going to speak at NADA this year on that, right? And so if you want the community to support you, right? If you want the community to buy from you, to trade in their vehicles with you, to sell you their car, to refer people to you, to use your service department, to buy your parts, to do whatever it is in all your profit centers, you have to turn around and deposit into the emotional bank account of the community. If you want them to support you, you've got to support the community. And I love what you said about your people. Sometimes Hayden, and this is not the case in Jerry Hunt Supercenter, this is definitely not the case for Hayden Hicks, but a lot of stores, they don't value human resources. Why? Because the average dealership spends $65,000 to $70,000 a month in advertising and less than $1,000 a month in training and people development. How does that make any sense? You love your people, you love your customers, and guess what? Your people will do anything for you. Your customers will show up like they did recently. So I want to just say, LA, what is your thoughts on that? Isn't that amazing?
It absolutely is. And, you think about an organization, which organization is more deserving of having these record-breaking things happen, having, positive things, positive customers. I've been to thousands of dealerships, I'm telling y'all, like throughout my years. And I'm telling you that, and this is the reason why I call it that all brand dealership versus just the plain independent dealership. And there's nothing wrong with being independent. It's just what you said, Sean, that stigma, right? And so how do we begin to change that? Sometimes everything is in the language and what we use, the words that we use, right? And so calling an all brand dealership is like, hey, listen, I don't need to be tied to a manufacturer. Shout out to the manufacturers, love all y'all, right? But I don't need to be tied to a manufacturer in order to have high quality experiences, in order to be that, Ruth Chris, whatever, high end steakhouse you want to equate us to, right? I can still be that regardless of who I am. Like I could be the mom and pop bodega store on the corner, right? And still give a high quality experience, right? I don't have to be that store in the mall, the Tiffany's, right? Even if I'm just the jeweler, right? If I'm selling cars out of my garage, I can still give a high quality experience. And that's basically what Hayden's talking about. It's not so much, and I love to see dude get thought process, but it's more so like be, do, have, right? Who am I as a human being? Who am I as a person? Who are we as an organization? Okay, so now that I know who we are, there are certain key things that we're just going to do and not do. And because we do and not do certain key things, we're going to have certain positive things and we're going to not have certain negative things. It's just how it works. So I love everything you're saying, Sean, and I hope that I'm giving what you talked about, Hayden, just a little bit of credence.
Absolutely.
So Hayden, let's go back to the claim to your fame of being the world's best desk manager. I respect it. Listen, you gotta believe in yourself. Confident. You know what I mean, to achieve. So
you never outperform your identity.
Hey, 100%. Let me ask some questions here, because there's a lot of people that aren't great at desking. I mean, it is what it is. So let's just talk about for a non-subprime deal. Let's just say that you have an up that's on the lot or up that's in the showroom. What do you think is in 2025 is a strong desking philosophy or desking strategy to be able to max gross, but simultaneously, try to create a win-win with the prospect? So give us your desking philosophy.
Absolutely. And that's great. You say win-win. And I believe so much in that mentality. It's Stephen Covey hit the nail on the head there. But I think for me, it was number one, I feel like everybody is there for a reason to buy a vehicle. Like the days of tire kicking in my mind are over. They did that online. They came in there for a reason. I polled a lot of people in my time, and I asked them, say, what do you do for fun? And out of most people, I've polled thousands of people. Nobody's ever said, well, I go to a dealership, I test drive cars, I give my credit, I look at payments, and then I walk out the door. I don't know anybody that does that for fun. So I have this mentality that every person is there for a reason, and it's to buy a car, to solve a problem, right? So once I get that application, I would treat that with the utmost respect. Now, I know a lot of people take pride in their credit, so I take to get the deal done and the least amount of inquiries is a goal of mine, because I want to try to keep their credit in mind. In addition to, I guess, your prime question, I want to do what makes sense and wants to be transparent and fair to the guest. So I want to make sure that we respect everything that they've seen on our website all the way to the desk and proposal. So it's important to keep that transparent and just alike. I don't want to try to pull any crazy tricks or anything outside that. Remember, they already think we're a used car person and we got to come from behind. So I want to make sure that I supersede or exceed their expectations by doing exactly what they didn't think was going to happen and give them a transparent proposal.
Okay, so let's walk through this. Let's say I'm the salesperson. You have a road to the sale. Again, without going through the details, every road to the sale is kind of similar, where you have a meet and greet, you qualify the prospect, you do a needs assessment, you identify wants, wishes, expectations, you go to product selection, then you're going to do a features and benefits walk around presentation, demonstration drive, maybe a service walk. Here's my first question for you, big one, is there's two schools of thought. Either A, after you do the test drive or the service walk, the salesperson could go to the desk and gain a commitment, present the commitment to the desk, and the desk could turn around, either pencil them back or there. Or if you come back from the test drive or the service walk, you check in with the desk and get the first pencil. So the question is, do you think that it's better for the salesperson to try to go gain the commitment, present the commitment, or is that old school, and you think they should just go right to the desk and get the first pencil? Let's that first question.
Good question again, and I'm going to stop saying that here in just a minute. Number one, our first step to the road to the sale is attitude. I think your head has to be in the right frame of mind before you even take your first guest of the day. But when you do get to that point, there is two schools of thought. Here at Jerry Hunt Supercenter, we have it where we pencil a solid approved deal already. We don't do a store average. We don't take a guesstimate, because I don't like doing that, because in the event we propose a customer at 12% and it comes back at 14, now we don't look right. Now, it is nice when you propose them at 12 and it comes back at 8, you're a hero, but I would rather just give them what they qualified for on the first pencil. So our process is they come to the desk, we do a cash proposal, which would show what the numbers are. Once they agree on that, then we go to the next step, which would be get paid.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Next question on this is just philosophy or strategy wise, is on a special finance basis, right? It's different. I used to be a special finance manager. We talked about this before. I feel that a lot of stores do it ass backwards. You know what I mean? What they'll do is if you don't know they're subprime at first, then I could understand you're doing a regular qualification. But if somebody says, hey, I've got bad credit, or they're coming off of an interactive financial carloan.com lead, or they're an Auto Credit Express lead, you know what I mean? Or it's a Cap One mailer. If you know they're subprime, I personally don't believe that you should say, go find a car and then just try to reverse engineer it that way. I think you should work the credit first, work the approval, and find what vehicles that you have that in stock that you can max gross with, and give them a choice that way. What do you recommend if you know it's a special finance?
Absolutely. If they are screaming, hey, got turned down at 5 dealerships before I got here, then yes, you should work it backwards. You should not work it backwards, work it frontward in that situation. And start with the credit and then get the cars that they qualify for. Because what happens when you go out there and show them the Denali that they can't get, and then they could get the Fiesta, right? It's a hard conversation. It's not really fair to them to do that game. So we educate in that situation to do exactly that.
Okay, good. Let's go back to the desking question. In your opinion, what are some of the best ways to max gross?
We learned this, and you guys know this, but price only is important with the absence of value, right? And I think to make gross make sense, which we're a one price store, but you have to build value. You have to build value in the vehicle. You have to build value in the organization. You have to build value in yourself. Then that becomes less of a hurdle and just more of semantics in the end. So
it sounds familiar. When I was there training, we had a whole section on the value package proposition and things like that. Here's a pro tip that I want to just share with our audience is that first and foremost, like you just heard Hayden say, you need to have a value package proposition. What that means is you need to be able to clearly articulate what is different and better with your dealership or dealer group. And if you are a franchise, what's different and better about your OEM. But Hayden, what I want to say, because this came up when we were training you guys, is that, coming from the DP, from Todd Hunt himself, you have this lifetime, powertrain warranty. But if your salespeople or your BDC reps don't know about it or don't understand it or can't articulate it passionately and convey that message, it's almost like you don't have it. Can you speak about that to the audience?
Yes, and that is so, so powerful. And that was a great takeaway from your training. Thank you for that piece. Very, very grateful for that. Absolutely. That is what separates us from our competition. Let's face it, everybody has inventory to a certain degree. A lot of people have a 2022 Nissan Altima. What's going to be the differentiator? It's going to be your value package proposition. It's going to be our lifetime powertrain warranty. It's going to be our 4.8 Google rating. It's going to be that we've been in business since 1982. It's going to be free delivery. It's going to be that value package. And it's important to identify, have it written down, and be able to defend it to the death, if you will, whenever you have to present it. And I think once you do that, it's hard for the price to have to negotiate at that point. Then you defend gross because you've painted such a great picture.
No, brother, I'm so glad. And I think it's awesome that our values align because, you had pieces of it. And it was amazing, but I think it was an eye opener when we're talking about the BDC reps being able to implement it at every single call. So here's another pro tip for everybody listening. If you want to make more appointments, you got to build value. If you want more people to actually show up to the appointments, you got to stop trying to ask for the appointment. You got to stop trying to set the appointment. You need to sell the appointment. To me, time is money. It's not a question, it's a statement. If time is money, then we are asking people to spend their time currency when we ask them to come in for the appointment. So again, if you are able to clearly articulate what is different and better, you're going to get more people to show up. All right, Hayden, I want to redirect on this right here. You are a used car superstore. It even says so in your name. It says Jerry Hunt Supercenter. So, man, I think that you were built for adverse conditions. I mean, the pandemic shouldn't have done anything because what you have to do is get inventory. So what are some advices and things you could share with people for you? How do you find 1,000? Well, first of all, how many retail ready vehicles do you have between both your lots?
1,232 this morning.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, there's people that are gonna like fall out of their freaking chairs listening to you say, they're like, I can't even get 100 cars. You have 1,200 in North Carolina? Yeah. Yeah, some people have 32 used car retail ready. You got 1,232. So what are some of your secrets, to acquisition? Is it just auctions or like, how do you recommend getting cars?
Well, we have a phenomenal team. I work for a great organization, very proud. Mr. Hunt does a phenomenal job, but buying vehicles is his specialty. Acquiring units is his specialty. It's obvious we got 1,200 vehicles. And I get to follow his lead, and he gets to be he's a great role model for me. So he has built a phenomenal acquisition department. And these guys scour the earth. I mean, there's 5 guys, and they full all day long, nonstop, 11 o'clock at night. They are looking for inventory. They work every channel possible, from auction to street purchase to Craigslist to Kelley Blue Book to Facebook. I can go on, but they spend hours on this process and making sure that we have these vehicles. Every day when I pull in Sean in LA, there is transporters out there unloading vehicles every single day. It's just amazing. I love seeing it. It's so exciting to watch them unload these vehicles, and it's just a gift. I'm so grateful to see that inventory show up every day, because without the inventory, you don't have the cars to sell. So they do a great job. And I think the secret is hard work, persistence, staying in the game. They don't just settle for, I can't find inventory.
I'm going to frame this in a little bit. I'm going to frame this up a little bit, though. You have what's called a VBC. A VBC is different than a BDC. A VBC is a vehicle buying center. You've got a team of people. You have 5 highly trained, highly motivated, sophisticated, experienced agents that all they're doing from open to close, you said even to 11 o'clock at night, is hunting for inventory. So think about this. If inventory is an issue, what are you doing to make inventory not issued? Talking about Dr. Stephen Covey. Dr. Covey said you could tell what's important to somebody by their spends, where they spend their time and where they spend their money. So you're obviously putting resources into a vehicle acquisition team. The results are phenomenal. And you got to realize, man, that, and Hayden, I'm sure you and Todd Hunt and Danielle Hunt and everybody else at the organization knows this, you could make just as much money, if not more money, by buying the cars right. Buying the cars the right way is just as profitable, if not more profitable, than actually selling the cars at a certain rate. So I want to just commend you that you have dominated the business by saying, wait a minute, I'm an independent dealer. I don't have a franchise to manufacture me cars. I better figure out a strategy that inventory is not an issue. And I hear you. Shout out to Mr. Hunt to Todd Hunt, for being an expert in acquisition.
And
here's
the thing, Sean. I know that we said this was the secrets, right? And so I want to kind of shed some light on one of the secrets to this, because the cool thing about when I trained with the team and they picked me up from the airport and everything is about an hour drive right from there to the dealership. And so I got to spend time with one of their key transporters, right? They was transporting me at the time, right? So the difference is, of course, you can have a great VBC. I think that's phenomenal. That's a big part of it. But your transporters are not just average, ordinary transporters, right? You have people who actually care. And so he was telling me some stories, right? Shout out to Mullet. He was telling me some stories about, he takes pride when they ask him to go pick up a vehicle. He's looking at it like he's buying the vehicle himself. So he gets in the car, he tests it out, he kind of does these different things. He's listening, he's paying attention. It's not just like, okay, I just came to pick up this car. Okay, cool, got it. All right, thank you, bye, right? It's like, and he feels some type of way. That's a Philly slang thing, right? He doesn't like it when he purchases a vehicle that ends up not being able to sell, or it wasn't what we initially thought it was going to be. That bothers him on a very deep level. And so again, it's not just about the VBC. I want folks to know that you can have that, right? We're going to teach you to have that. It's about the care. It's about the passion, right? Understand that passion is not optional, y'all. It's the fuel that makes an organization stand out. And that's one of the reasons why Jerry Hunt Supercenter is the organization that it is.
Hayden, real quick, one thing that I think is amazing is that CRM. I know that you guys on Promax NCC CRM, which in my opinion is one of the top CRMs in the automotive industry. What I find, whether dealerships have a VBC or not, and again, VBC is Vehicle Buying Center or not, one of the most incredible resources is being able to use data mining, equity mining, or to be able to use your CRM to be able to find potential people that you could pull out of their current vehicle and either keep them at the same payment or even potentially lower their payment and buy their vehicle. So my question is does your organization have a strategy where you utilize your CRM to be able to find opportunities for acquisition?
Yes. If I'd said no, I would expect you to hang up the phone right.
Get on my podcast.
Get on my podcast. Yes, we do. We mine. That is it's like a gold mine, if you will, when you go in there, because we have around 150,000 people in our database, which is insane. So we're
my God.
Yes, mind blowing. So I basically have Caterpillars, these big excavation devices that are going through our CRM and mining for that. There's folks that have bought 5 and 6 and 10 and 15 vehicles from us. So we do a great job keeping that cycle going. But as we grow, there is a bit of X amount of pull, and we got to continue to, I guess, mine further and further. So yes, our CRM is a great resource for that. However, to continue the growth, we have to mine deeper to get that. And LA, I want to touch on something that he mentioned in the acquisition. And that is something that this organization, that Mr. Hunt does a great job. And he takes such good care of his people, takes good care of me, that we want to do a great job for the company. It's in our DNA at this point. So like he mentioned from the driver, that's important that they care to make sure that they're doing a good service for us. And that's just top down all the way throughout. Individuals want to do a great job. And it's such a great place to work when your entire body of employees, like you mentioned earlier, the human resource is striving for that. We have a team of about 25 drivers, and that's their full-time job, is going and picking up these vehicles and taking them back. And we have a fleet of vehicles that are wrapped in Jerry Hunt, from Kia Souls to vans, to make sure that that's seen. But your LA made a great point there.
Wow. That's
wait.
Yeah.
I want to go back to this.
Because I got to be the police, just so you know, break time coming up.
I just said, listen, we don't mess with no police on this show. So he's the commercial police, Hayden. That's what he's talking about. So real quick, can you share, off the top of your head, if you don't know, it's cool, but can you mention one of those campaigns like that you use in your Promax CRM? Like, what do you do? Is it an email? Is it a text messaging strategy? Is it an email strategy, or is it all the above?
It's all the above, but the most fruit is a phone call, calling and saying, having a word track in our VBC.
Speaking my language.
Yes. So,
all right, we're going to dive back into this when we come back after we pay these bills. You happy, LA Williams? We're going to pay these bills.
Let's do it, y'all. We'll be right back on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast.
Dealers, are you ready to elevate your success and dominate 2025? Then it's time to check out NCC's Complete CRM, the all-in-one solution built for dealerships like yours. Whether you're an independent, franchise, or dealer group, this platform has been specifically designed to fit your unique needs. For over 30 years, NCC has been leading the way in innovative dealership solutions with built-in tools like soft pull, data mining, inventory, desking, compliance, and call tracking. Complete CRM also seamlessly integrates with your other chosen systems to help you maximize every opportunity, all while focusing on what really powers your sales: credit-driven retailing. Complete CRM specializes in turning credit insights into more profitable deals. So don't just manage your dealership in 2025, transform it. Visit nccdirect.com today to schedule a demo and see how Complete CRM can revolutionize your business. That's nccdirect.com, the smarter way to sell.
This has been the most in-depth training I've had in my lot of years in the car business.
We went from 60 cars to 156 cars a month in 3 months.
NAMAD, the entire Toyota Chicago region, as well as the top automotive groups like Koons, Lithia, and Norm Reeves have all used Bradley On Demand to train their team.
They're the most comprehensive training company I've seen, and they by far have the best support system.
Doing 50 cars a month, topped out at 80. I can tell you that the Bradley On Demand training will get you to the next level.
And guess what? The world's #1 car salesman, Cody Carter, shares his exclusive strategies right here. You want his secrets? You gotta have Bradley On Demand. If you're still not enrolled in Bradley On Demand, you're missing out on the best virtual automotive training in the world. Enroll now or contact us for a free test drive of the platform today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. As you hear Sean whispering stuff, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to get back into the flow of doggone things. But man, Hayden has just been dropping some jewels. I mean, just really taking us to school when it comes to the things that are necessary, all of those secrets, right, that are necessary in order for us to run a winning organization, right? And so I don't want it to stop here. I want us to keep on asking questions. There's a lot of things that we haven't quite covered yet. All right, Sean, you got a question? Throw it out. I got a question. Throw it out there. Let's go.
Yeah, listen, I got to tell you that I didn't realize that the dealer principal, Todd Hunt, how he got connected is he said he was listening to this podcast, and I want to get any insight from you, Hayden, about that. But when I was there, he said, Sean, I listened to the podcast, then we signed up with Bradley Demand, and then it went from there. Can you share how you got involved with Dealer Synergy? Because it didn't just go all at once. You guys like forget about crawl. You tippy-toed at first, and then now it's like, we're part of the family. You're wearing black and orange, and yeah. So can you share with the world, how did you get connected with us, and why did you connect with us, and what were your expectations? And we'll start there.
Yes. Well, you guys, we've always known your name, Sean. You're the GOAT in the BDC, from our opinion out here in North Kakalaki, I guess to say LA said. But we kind of tiptoed, like you said. Todd has been listening to your Millionaire podcast, and he would always forward it to me whenever a new one would drop. I would listen to it. Great content. Again, glad to be on the show. So he would keep saying, he said, what do you think we should do? We recognize that the BDC is the heart of our company. It's the backbone. It's the infrastructure. And we knew that we needed to put some hands on it. Lifelong learner is part of our core value. And so we're constantly trying to evolve and adapt and take in new content. And we thought the BDC and the GOAT, Sean Bradley, we should marry the two and see what happens. So we reached out, and you're exactly right. It's like family. You guys have came in, LA and Sean, and just been blown away by your organization, Dealer Synergy, and just so excited to be a part of it. But it's been such a great impact in our company. And
can you break it down, Hayden? Because a lot of time, the reason why I want to be able to share this with the audience again is I want to put that in perspective. You're a president of a major organization, so I wanted them to hear it from you. So when I came in, my style is completely different than LA's, obviously. So can you share what it was like when I came there first and I spent the day, training, and then, going live into the BDC with the Power Hour? I don't want to lead you, but kind of just share your experience with Sean Bradley first.
Well, my experience with Sean is full energy. Sean has a ton of energy and went hard. We even worked through lunch. I was like, Sean, I'm dying over here. I got to eat. And he's like, what's lunch? So we just keep powering through. So he just you hammered on the team and really cultivated them. And then we took it to the next level. You hit another gear that I didn't know you had when we went to Power Hour, and kept the energy tight and exciting, and the vibe was fire. it was awesome having dealer synergy on site because it just brought it to another level in the department that we could use some
Talk about the power hour, because for the people that don't know, what was that like for you? Because conceptually, this might be cool, but you watched it. And can you share what the results were from that power hour experience? Like, what was it and what the hell did we get from it?
Well, we got a lot of things from it. Number one, what was the most exciting to see is we have a 120 call requirement to work at Jerry Hunt Supercenter in the BDC as an agent. Where our agents are hitting 70, 80, lack of my accountability, I'll take responsibility for. But what we found out during this one power hour, that our agents could do 100 plus calls in 1 hour. So I'm like, hey, what's been happening all day? Which is one eye opening. Number two, the bought elsewheres. And I take that personal. If we lose business to someone else, I feel like we just did a disservice to that guest. In my mind, if they don't buy from us, it's a disservice because I know we're going to take care of them better than any of our competition. So that was X amount of folks that bought elsewhere we took personal. In addition to, we showed the team that they can make those phone calls, that they can do these things. And those were a lot of the takeaways from the Power Hour.
Hayden, what I was so proud of, you had one agent that made 4 appointments in 1 hour. You had another agent made 3 appointments in 1 hour. Sometimes, there's agents, even good agents, don't make 4 appointments in an entire 8-hour day. And so for everybody wondering what the heck is a power hour, you could literally go to YouTube, type in Dealer Synergy Power Hour, and you could see the video, which we'll get into the video stuff that me and you created as well, which I'm so impressed with you on that level as well. What it is that Hayden was so kind to put a $500 cash bonus for what? Not for sales, not for appointment shows, not even for appointments, for just who could make the most amount of phone calls. And Hayden, what's funny is that when I post this in the Millionaire Car Salesman group or online or on LinkedIn, people are like, that's stupid. Who cares? I'm like, are you kidding me? It was the best $500 investment that Jerry Hunt Supercenter could do, because for $500, they had like 14 agents show what they were capable of. Because as you heard Hayden say, sometimes they don't even have 70 phone calls in one full 8-hour day. And I'm going to tell you, the lowest amount of phone calls in 1 hour, if you remember, I think was 49. The number one amount of phone calls was 109. Now, is that realistically sustainable? No. But what happens is that they were laser focused in, almost like a racehorse with their blinders on. They were locked in. They weren't distracted. They weren't playing on their phone. They didn't go to the bathroom. They were just like in it. Now, the whole point of the exercise is to show your people that if they could do that, if they can make X amount of phone calls, think about it. The more calls, the more connections, the more connections, the more appointments, the more appointments, the more shows, the more shows, the more sales. Now, my next question to you is, in the 4 generations that I believe the organization's been there, the most you averaged, I think, like 800 cars. And I was there in February. LA was there in March. And we're going to get into your experience with LA. But from my understanding, you broke a record, and your record was 994 units. My simple question to you is this. Do you feel that having dealer synergy there helped in any way to get you to break that goal?
Absolutely. The influence of
I'm honored.
Go ahead.
I'm honored to be able to share in your success. Now, let's talk about LA. I'm different. What was it like working with somebody that's completely blind? Like, is he like colorblind? Is he really blind? Tell the people, because sometimes they're like, he can't be blind.
No, I guess he's blind. He does. He gets around amazing. So I'm blown away by LA.
So what was it like? What did he cover that was different than what I covered at your store?
I will say something, just a shout out to LA. Great human, but just a master communicator. I just really enjoyed watching his ability to navigate through language. And I think that's sometimes something we take for granted, is the use of our words and how powerful. I say they're like elevators. They could lift people up or they could take them down. And I think it's just amazing, his use of words. So he was able to work with our team and help them get comfortable and confident using the dealer synergy inbound and outbound phone process, which to me is the best inbound. Now, not saying that just because I'm on the podcast, but that's part of the journey that led us to you. Was those 2 particular pieces, I think, are crafted extremely well from a word and psychological level. So LA came in and helped really dive and unpack your strategy, and helped us and helped our agents feel more comfortable using the words. And even when they got uncomfortable, even when they wanted to give up, he did a great job keeping them in the game, not letting them not do it. And I was just really impressed by all that.
And here's what I want to say is like, and I'm super excited for you because you have only started the beginning of the relationship with us at Dealer Synergy. You've got exposure with me in LA, but man, you guys are now going to be going live with our outsourced BDC call center. You're going to get to work with Jenna. Jenna Blankenbiller was the internet director and then the general sales training director for Bob Ruth Ford. I mean, you're working with a woman that took a BDC from 75 units a month with us to 362 units and having like 11, BDC reps, 9 of them, overseas. So again, for us, I'm like a mixed martial artist coach, like a UFC coach, metaphorically speaking. And then, Jonathan Schreiber. Jonathan is a beast, 20-year veteran. And when he gets a hold of your data, when he gets a hold of the CRM and your inventory, be able to analyze. So when we're putting this together, it's like almost when you're going, imagine being like remember that TV show, the $6 Million Man? And they had all of those, those specialties of the bionic man or what have you. What we want to be able to do is help you in each of these pieces. So your people are just focusing on their core day to day. Now, I got a question for you. This is a redirect. Now, is you are so unique with the energy and the culture. One thing that's one of my people that prepped for this podcast wanted me to ask you is, as the president of the company, how come you actually sit in the BDC and spend hours there? Because that's not normal. It's brilliant, but it's not normal. Why do you do that?
2 reasons. Number one, I want to do what I ask the employee to do. If it's cleaning cars, I want to learn how to do it. I don't want to ask anybody to do something that I won't do myself. That's the first thing. The second thing is I want to be able to teach or coach it in the event if our agents, I want them to stay with us forever, but if they leave, I want to be able to repeat what we've learned and grow and use my experience and perspective to add to. Like I said earlier, I'm a lifelong learner. It's in our core values. And I can only imagine, like, if I had a sign on my desk that says, hey, I quit learning a long time ago. And if somebody walked up and read that sign, how would that look? I quit learning. I tapped out. I'm good. I'm retired. I want to learn something new every day. I'm thirsty. I have an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. And I think to sit in this opportunity, number one, to have some greats be there is super exciting. But to take in that content is so valuable. I think the more you learn, the more you earn. Remember my story in the beginning. I tell my kids will never know this life. And in order for my kids, my family, the people I love to never know this life, I have to learn. I have to be a student of the game. I have to constantly evolve. And I want my people to do it with me.
So Hayden, but I like, that is brilliant. Then help me understand, because there, especially for our listeners right now, one of the most frustrating things is this to me as being Sean Bradley. I know without a shadow of a doubt that the internet and phones are the new showroom. It's a statement, not a question. And if I know that the internet and phones are the new showroom, BDC is the place to be. As I mentioned to you before, Covey said you could tell what's important where people spend their time and where they spend their money. For whatever reason, most dealer principals, most general managers, most general sales managers, most desk managers, most sales managers don't spend time inside the actual BDC. They don't sit there for hours and hours. They don't sit there and help their BDC reps and all that. Like, as a great car guy, as a president of a freaking, 2 rooftop dealer group that just sold freaking 1,000 units last month, doesn't that sound counterintuitive to you? Does that not make any sense? Why would we neglect the number one potential for business and organization? Why do you think most dealers and managers don't live in the BDC like you do?
They must not see the value in it, Sean. There is no doubt, to me, that is the new digital showroom. That is the new dealership. My next goal, this next quarter, my entire existence is going to be reshaping and redesigning the BDC. I'm going to make this BDC the best BDC in the country with Dealer Synergy support. That is going to be what I'm after, because I realize folks, they visit 18 to 22 dealerships online and 1.2 dealerships in person. I want to make sure that my dealership is that. And I know they do 17 hours of research. So my goal is to, when I get that precious opportunity to get that guest on the phone, I want to maximize it. Because once I get them in the showroom, that's the easy part. But getting them to fight through the clutter and all these things are getting the apps on their phone and fighting for all that attention. If I have an opportunity to speak to them, I want to maximize it, and I need to be in the room to make sure it's good.
Let's talk about the CRM for a second here. One of the things that I suggest to dealers, and I don't think you've implemented this yet, but I want to just talk about it for a couple minutes, is I really believe that there should be, no matter what CRM it is, like obviously I'm a huge fan of NCC Pro Max, and that's your CRM, but if dealers don't have Pro Max, they could still be successful. But I really believe in having a CRM specialist or a CRM accountability person, because I mean, we've talked about this before. Think about all the missed opportunities in the CRM. You said your database has got 150,000 prior customers. So do you feel that there is value in having a dedicated person or persons that are just, making sure that the CRM integrity is being utilized, the proper notes are in there, the proper, communication, that we're not dropping the ball, there's not buying signals. So the question is this: do you believe in a CRM specialist or a CRM accountability person or persons for a dealership?
I don't know if you set me up there, Sean, but we have a person on site that used to work.
You did say I was really good at this, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So yes, we have a person on site that used to work for ProMax, now works for us, to ensure that we are following in that footsteps of using the CRM 100% correctly.
So yeah, I did set you up because the name of this thing is going to be the secrets from a president of a 1,000 unit a month store. So these are secrets right here. So yeah. So folks, did you hear what he freaking said? He literally has a former employee from the CRM company that they're currently using is on staff just to do this. Success leaves clues. You don't freaking accidentally sell 1,000 used cars in a month during this economy. That just doesn't happen. Oops, I just stumbled into 1,000 cars. They're obviously doing something right. And the reason why he's on the show is I'm trying to help you all from not losing your butts with this current economy and these tariffs and, all this post-pandemic reality. Success leaves clues. Listen to what Hayden's saying. Listen to what he's doing. Unless you're one of his competitors and you can't. You're not allowed to. Just pretend what he said didn't happen. No, I'm kidding. So now let's talk about something fun, Hayden. This is all fun to me, but let's talk about this. Brother, there's very few people that could match my energy for video. Okay. I was blown away. My family, I have my friends, I have some of them have quotas, Sean, you can only take a couple pictures of videos and you got to shut it off. I have my whole life evangelized on YouTube and all over social media. But when I walked into the dealership, I was pleasantly surprised. You had a whole camera crew and you were taking videos and you're posting them. So talk to us. First of all, how the hell do you have time selling 1,000 cars and have a whole camera crew creating social content? So explain this to me, because I love it.
I absolutely love it too, Sean. And I think that the biggest problem that any of us have is obscurity. They don't know we exist. And I don't want it to be for Jerry Hunt Supercenter. My goal is for it to be a household name. And in order to do that, we have 2 content creators that work full time, one at each store. And we are pumping content 24/7. You mentioned to me, and I think it's so true, that TikTok and Google and YouTube is a crackhead for this content. And it's our goal to provide that content. And the more we feed it, the better it treats us. So I want content 24/7 getting put out there, so that way we don't fall through the cracks and be obscure. I want it to be known, and that's the only way to make it happen.
Listen, brother, I'm going to tell you this. So I want to actually coach you as I'm coaching our audience on here, because I think I know you from what I've found out about you will internalize what I'm saying. As a best-selling author, I want to share with you, me and Grant Cardone are in the same mindset. It's not the New York Times best written author. It's the New York Times best selling author. They gave me a book deal. They gave Grant a book deal, not because we could conjugate verbs very well or we're Shakespearean, because they think that we could sell units. You understand what I'm saying? People get record deals, and LA can tell you from all his experience working with these major label artists like Beyonce and Nas and LL Cool J, etc., is because, not just because they're pretty and they're talented, because they could sell music, they could sell tickets, they could sell merch. My point is this: what dealers don't understand, and what I want you to really, really, really click onto, brother, is this: build your local audience, build your YouTube channel, build your TikTok channel, build your Instagram channels, build your LinkedIn. Why? For 2 reasons. One, the bigger your audience is, your local audience, you don't want to pay for fake followers in Singapore or Ethiopia or something like that. You want to organically grow with relevant content. You should be doing how-to tips, how to buy a car, how to buy a used car, the value of a used car over a new car. Hey, why having a lifetime powertrain warranty is important. I mean, again, there's a guy that I trained named Mike Davenport. He's called You're a Chevy Dude. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. He worked at a Chevy dealership in Louisville, Kentucky. He read chapter 5 of my book is like a recipe for video optimization. Now, again, I'm just telling you, all you got to do is go to YouTube and type in My Chevy Dude or Your Chevy Dude or whatever it is. The guy's got like 500,000 YouTube subscribers. Hayden, he went from selling cars at a franchise dealership to owning an independent dealership because he was making so much money. He's got like 200 or 300 million minutes a month watched. Okay. Think about all the inventory you have. If you have people that are taking videos, like just 1 or 2 minute videos and doing walkarounds and uploading all that content to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. So I would do like walkaround videos, testimonial videos. Then I have a separate team that's doing how-to videos, how to buy a used car, why buying a used car is better than buying a new car. If you've got bad credit, how to get it approved. If you don't have a cosigner, if you don't got a down payment, if you think about it, there's so many things that you could create. And here's the mistake that a lot of dealers, a lot of businesses do. They focus on point of sale. If the only collateral you have is point of sale, that's the only audience that you're gonna attract. But if you create point of interest content for people that haven't made the decision yet, point of interest content. Now, let me show this to you right here. I'm going to put something up here because I think it's so worth it. And I want you to see this with your own eyes. Yeah, look at this. This guy right here has 505,000 subscribers. Are you kidding me? He owns his own used car dealership. Now watch the videos though. Okay, look at these right here. Popular. 6.9 million views, 4.1 million views, 3.3 million views. I helped this guy when he had 0 views and 0. Okay. And this was everything that's here is chapter 5 of the book. He's literally the best person that I've ever worked with that listened to me word for word and built this out here. Now he's a hard worker and he's got his own stuff, but this is my recipe. Look at the ones: 9 fees never to pay a car dealership, tips on car buying, how to negotiate, questions to never answer on a car lot, car buying tips, 5 car buying scams to watch out for. Smart people would do this while test driving a car. 5 things you do to make a car buying difficult. Buying a car, 5 questions to ask first. Think about these things. He reversed engineered. Brother, use ChatGPT. Go to ChatGPT and ask what are the biggest questions and reverse engineer these videos. But look at this too. He's got a graphic person, or he's doing it himself, that are doing thumbnails. You know what I mean? And he's optimizing each of these videos. I will help you. You're my client. I will help you with the optimization. I will help you with the strategy, but you need to be able to identify who on your team is going to create this content. Okay. And again, none of these are about the actual cars. Look at this. The biggest ones are not even reviews. Do you see what I'm saying? They're all the stuff that people want to know. And what he's doing is he's becoming the car celebrity. Do you follow me? He's the subject matter expert. He's the verified expert. Now, if you want to buy a car, are you going to go to your ABC guy? Or are you going to go to the person that you trust, you believe, that's helped you? You know what I mean? That's your advocate. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Good information. Thanks, Sean.
All right.
Fire stuff, man. We absolutely killing it. So I got a quick question because I heard you mention, Sean, ChatGPT, right? And using that and all that different kind of stuff. So Hayden, how does you or the company feel about AI? Are you guys using anything? Do y'all plan to use anything? And if so, what is it that you hope to get out of it? Because I'm sure, just as forward thinking as you are, you're probably on the crest of doing something with AI. Is that right?
Absolutely. I think if you are ignoring AI, you are going to be left behind. There is no doubt AI is taking us all by storm. We are going to initiate it in the beginning to help our agents interact and speak with our guests until engagement happens. And then once engagement happens, we're going to have our guests take over, and also to work after hours. So when we close.
What company are you guys using?
Podium.
Podium. I keep hearing about these people, Podium. I keep hearing that they're one of the.
John, I don't know who told us about it.
I don't know either. I mean, but success leaves clues. You're pretty successful, and you're using Podium. I don't know, you know. So this is interesting too, because you said the key word, engagement, folks. This is, and Hayden, I want your opinion on this. But for my 27 years doing this, the single most difficult aspect of internet sales or BDC is just getting connected with the prospect, just getting them to call you back to answer. So engagements, you said 120 calls. You have 14 agents. They're making 120 calls a day. Okay, that's 2640 a month if they're doing a 22 employee working day month. So that's a lot of calls. But statistically, there's only about a 6 to 8% connection ratio. Emails only have a 2 to 4% read open rate. So if there is a tool or resource that could increase way more engagements, then more engagements, more conversations, more appointments, more shows, more sales. Am I on the same page? Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
All right, LA, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I kind of feel like they're on the cusp of doing something amazing. So,
so Hayden, are you a baseball fan by any chance?
No, I don't. All
right, well, let me tell you. You a Candy fan? You ever heard of Baby Ruth?
Yes, I have.
Okay, it's after a guy named Babe Ruth from New York Yankees, New York in the house, right? So one thing that Babe Ruth used to do is he used to point right into the stands, and he would point, and that he would basically, articulate that he's going to crack a grand slam home run. He'd point in the stands and be like, I'm about to crush this ball. I'd like you to do that, metaphorically speaking. What is the vision? You are the president of this incredible organization. The best is yet to come, brother. You know what I mean? Where do you see Jerry Hunt Supercenter growing? You just cracked 994 units this month. What's the goal?
1,000 units is the goal. Our goal is to make 1,000 a normal day in operation at Jerry Hunt Supercenter. We want 5 stores in 5 years, and we want 1,000 cars right now. Now, as the stores add to the portfolio, of course, sales we will expect to pick up. But our goal is to have 1,000 cars every single month. So if I love it to the stars, Sean, we can't just point to car sales. I want to continue to serve our customers at a high level. I want to outcare my competition. I want to make sure that we are developing in all areas, from BDC to service to sales, the whole gambit, and geography-wise, we want to grow that way as well. So we're constantly looking and developing and growing and partnering with great groups like you guys to help us do that.
Well, listen, we're honored to be able to share in your success. This episode on the podcast, I think, is fire. I think there were so many nuggets on this. And again, I love the black and orange Jerry Hunt. I need to get me one. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you got one coming. Don't worry.
Okay, I got you.
It's phenomenal stuff. Listen, I gotta drop one more jewel, right? Because there is another secret that we didn't quite expose, and I want to kind of put it on the table real quick. So when I first walked into Jerry Hunt Supercenter, I was downstairs, and they're like, "Okay, I'm gonna take you upstairs to the conference room." And as I'm walking up the steps, I didn't even get up the steps. It was like a line of people, and I'm like, what's all these people doing? And it's like a line outside, and everybody's got is buzzing with energy and everything like that. And then they open up the conference room door, and all you hear is, I'm like, oh, it's like the club in here, man. We was jamming, you know what I'm saying? Coming in hot. Like, it was absolutely fire. So I want to kind of just get, hey, share with the people why in the world it was on a Monday morning, your conference room feeling like it was, where you was at, Sean, like the Night Tunnel Club, whatever.
Yeah, the Limelight Tunnel in New York City.
Why was it feeling that way? Hayden, can you share with us why you had that happening?
LA said he was going to save that nugget and brought a little secret. So you're talking about the self-proclaimed best sales meeting in the country right there, LA.
Uh-huh.
So what we did about 6 months ago, the BDC actually used to be where you were. And I went to Todd and said, hey, I think that we could use this space as a training room, because core value, lifelong learner. How can we continue to evolve and coach our team up? He said, yeah, go ahead. And I said, what kind of budget are you thinking? And of course, he hit me a little low, but we're car guys, so we worked through it. Well, anyway, we ended up building a phenomenal training room. $80,000 we invested in that room. And it was an effort to, with great sound. We got 2 touch boards. We got great Zoom cameras. We got microphones in the ceiling that have noise cancellation so we could do these Zoom calls. for our coaching conversations with our groups like you guys. And I also wanted to get that vibe. Our sales pros are out there on the front lines every day talking to our guests for 12 hours a day. And nothing better than starting your day on a Monday morning, Tuesday morning, doesn't matter what morning it is, with some great music, good vibes, high energy, efforts to get our team so they can go down and conquer the day. Because Einstein says insanity is doing the same thing every day and expecting a different result. So our goal is to continue to modify and build on that, because we want 1,000 cars, like I just said a minute ago. In order to do that, we're like a race car. We're looking for little tunes, squirt, half a screw here, extra air tire here, whatever we could do to make sure that we are a finely tuned race car to hit 1,000 cars every single month. And it starts with a phenomenal sales meeting. I'm such a big believer in a sales meeting every day. And I don't mean just a humdrum sales meeting and talking about what was in the desk log yesterday and what salesperson has that they can do today. No, I'm talking about laying down some fire content, some good music, and then end it on a good note so they can go down there and make it happen.
Absolutely. So you talk about ending on a good note, man. I'm telling y'all, this is exactly what it's all about. I mean, you want to always have great nuggets and everything, but you want to end things on fire, right? And I think that's what we were able to do today. Listen, I tell folks, you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with, and you've just been spending time with President Hayden Hicks, L.A. Williams, the blind master, and the one and only Mr. Sean V. Bradley, CSP. It's your turn. Go out there and be a millionaire car salesman. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. If you liked it, you're going to love Bradley On Demand. Bradley On Demand is the most advanced virtual training, tracking, testing, and certification platform. What does that mean? It's an online university. And if you like this information here, we have hundreds and hundreds of advanced videos, step by step, on how to help you sell more cars more often and more profitably. So sign up now.